Hey guys, this is Adam here, and this is Tabletop Theory with Roll for the Galaxy. So when I first saw this game, it was going sort of end of last year, start of this year sometime. The main thing that drew me to any sort of interest in this game was, in fact, what is right here in front of me. And that is all that lovely dice. I don't know, even to this day, anything about Race for the Galaxy, which this game is based on. I believe it's a sequel, or at least a dice version of that game, which is more of a card-based game. But the thing that got me was, oh my god, look at all those amazing dice. They're just, so delicious. So when I first started looking up how the game played and all that sort of stuff, I completely went cross-eyed. I did not know what was going on. Basically, to give you an idea, we look at some things like this, for example. This is your cheat sheet, and my God, there's so much stuff on there. Oh my goodness. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't understand how to approach this game, not having any knowledge of the previous one. So when I started to really research, actually, to be honest, I completely forgot about it for ages. I just left it because I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to play this game, or even if I buy it, am I going to be able to figure it out well enough to actually be able to play the game? So I just completely forgot about it, just disregarded it. And then I kept seeing it pop up, everyone talking about this game, how amazing it is. So I started to almost like study the videos, these playthrough videos, and how you actually play it. And all of a sudden it just clicked. One day it just sort of it made sense. I was like, oh my god, I think I get it now. So then I pretty much immediately bought it, because when I did understand it, I finally got what the aim of the game was and everything. It made me want to play it. It made me want to explore it. So basically what we have here, I'm going to try and do my best to explain this as much as I can. This is by no means a comprehensive how-to play video. There are plenty of great videos online that show you how to play this game. I'll try and do as best as I can to show you how it goes, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's slowly becoming one of my favorite games now. It's absolutely fantastic. So what we have here, essentially, if I go to the manual just to give you an idea of the overview, in Roll for the Galaxy, each player creates a galactic civilization by recruiting workers, which are basically represented by the dice. And to settle worlds and build developments, these are the tiles here, which I'll go through some of these in a second just so you can kind of get a bit of an idea of what they actually mean. Over several game rounds. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to try and spend a bit of time rolling dice and pretty much just researching and settling worlds is essentially what we're doing in this game. All the dice and all this stuff here, the instructions and stuff, and the cheat sheet and everything like that, is all. None of it makes sense until you start playing it. I actually played this with my wife last night for the first time, and she's getting better and better at playing games as we get along. But this is probably, I would say, this is by far the most difficult game she's ever played, and the first 2 or 3 goes, she was like, and then I could predict it by about around 4 to 5, she was rolling dice, knew exactly what to do straight away every time. And that's what happened the first time we played it with the game group as well. So it's one of those games that at the start it seems so complicated, but when you really just break it down to what it actually is, recruiting workers to settle worlds and build development. So basically what you're saying instead is you're saying assigning dice to game tiles, and that just makes so much more sense. So each player starts around by secretly rolling their workers, so rolling their dice. Now we do that behind our tiles, our screens. They basically go just here like that. So everyone's tile everyone's screen, you can only call it a tile. Everyone's screen sits in front of them like this. So when you roll dice, you actually don't roll dice publicly. You do it in secret. And the reason why is, I'll basically get to in a second. Now, each player uses one worker to select one of the 5 possible phases. Then all players reveal their workers. All player selected phases occur in numerical order. Now, our phases are right here. Now, I'm going to go from 1 to 5. Obviously, that makes sense. The phases are as follows. We've got explore, develop, settle, produce, and ship. Now, they all basically do something or other that's going to help you to obviously win the game. The explore phase allows you to get money, and it also allows you to get more tiles. So if you get to a stage of the game where you need more tiles to develop or settle, then you can use a settlement die or an explore die to do that. I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to do like a quick fake round just to show you when the time comes, so you know how it works. Development allows you to assign dice to a development tile. So any tile that has a diamond on it like this or like this. So for example, this tile here has a 3 on it, so you'd need to put 3 dice on it. The settle phase is much the same. If you want to settle a world, for example, this one here, it's got 3 on it. You would want to put 3 dice on it. So that's what that one is. Produce allows you to put a good. So something on. Basically, it's got to be onto a world. So say for example, it's got that world there. You could put a good onto that world with that die, and that would be by doing something like that. Now, the benefit of that depends on the tile you're playing. Some tiles will be different to others. The ultimate goal of putting a good on a world comes down to this one here, which is ship. You can ship a good, basically, and that gives you victory points, which are represented by these little tokens here, or you can get money. So it's another way of getting money as well. Basically, you've got 2 ways of getting money in this game, which is either by exploring or shipping goods that have been put onto a world. That may all sound really confusing and everything, but trust me, it makes more sense the more you see it played. So that's your phases. That's how they work. Now I'm going through this because this is going to explain it much better than what I can try and draw from memory. I've only played this game twice, but like I said, it's slowly becoming my favorite game. Workers that complete tasks go onto the citizenry. Now, let's say, for example, this was the world I was putting on there, and let's say, for example, I did roll, let's say 3 circles. Let's say I managed to get an amazing roll there, and I got 3 circles. And what I can do is I can take those 3 circles, put them onto that world. That world then becomes settled. So I take it off my development tile. I put these dice, because they were used. Remember, these are workers. So workers are doing their job. Once they've done their job, they go to the citizenry. And I sort of likened it to going to a job center. So, they basically go to a job center. They get recruited to do a job. They do the job. The job's done. They go back to the the job center. So it's kind of like this loop kind of thing. When they're put back in there, you can actually buy them back later for money, which you can get multiple different ways. So, like I said, from exploring, shipping. Some of the tiles will actually give you money as well, and it all depends on what you get in that regard. So that's essentially the breakdown. I'll finish the overview here because it has some other things here. After the phases, players manage their empires, spending galactic credits to recruit workers, which is basically taking your dice back out of the citizenry. This is what this little square is called with the person in it. And they're used to be rolled in the next round, basically. The player who best manages his workers to create the greatest space empire of worlds, developments, and victory point chips wins. It's a novel concept. The most points wins. That's kind of it. That's kind of how it works. Now, I'm saying that like it's the most simple thing ever. I know it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up and I'm going to take these dice away for a second. I'm going to set up for a first game. And I'm going to pretend I'm one of, say, 4 people playing this. We would all do the exact same thing here, more or less. So we're about to start playing. I've got everything in front of me. So basically, this point of view here that you can see here is what I would be looking at in front of me. So in front of me, I have my little cheat sheet of all my phases on there. I've got my development tile, and my tableau is up the top here. I have my cup. I've chosen yellow in this scenario. All of our phases are currently inactive. So I'm going to flip them over. Now, why are they inactive, you ask? Great question. I'll get to that in a sec. My dice are here. Well, these aren't my dice. These are on the table. And these are all ready for everyone to use basically. Excuse me. And now I'm ready to basically set up. So the way we set up, and it's the same every single time, the initial setup, and it gives you a little bit of a hint right down the bottom there. So if you ever get stuck, you can actually use that as a way to remind yourself what you need to do. So the first thing you need to do is take 3 white dice, and like I said, everybody does this. 3 white dice, and they go into your cup, just like that. Then you get another 2 white dice, and they get put into the citizenry right there. You then take a faction tile and a homeworld tile. Now, these are chosen at random. I'm going to pick a couple of good ones that actually are easy for me to explain. I might use this one because I had that one last night with my game with Beck, my wife. And let's use this one. This one's pretty good actually. So, faction tile, homeworld tile. They basically set up the empire. They set up what you're trying to develop. Now, when you put those down, you need to look at what the perks are, what the bonuses are on each one of those. So in the case of this one here, if I ever use a yellow die to gain money, which they call stocking in this game, there's a lot of dual purpose words. So they'll do the same thing for colors. Like they won't specifically say a color, they'll say what that color represents. Like a yellow die is an alien die. So that can be confusing too. It just all sort of depends. Like you can always refer back to your cheat sheet, and there's other ways to basically figure it out as well. But after a while, you just know what to expect. So anyway, this is saying anytime I use a yellow die to gain money. So say for example, I rolled an eyeball and it doesn't have an eyeball on it, but I'll say this little star symbol is a wild card, so a wild symbol. So I'm just going to say that that's my eyeball. If I use that to get money, instead of getting $2, I actually get $4. So if $2 is normal, 1 dice equals $2 back. 1 yellow dice equals $4 back. So that's really good. So that's something I want to be able to do. The other thing it does is it allows me to get a yellow die and put that into my citizenry. So that's what that says right there. The other bonus of this world here, this homeworld faction, is that I get to start with $8 instead of 1. You always start with $1 when you play this game, and you never not have $1. If you spend $1, you get $1 back immediately to use in the next round. So having $8 to start off with is pretty darn good. So I'm going to stick with that for now. So I've got my 3 dice in my cup, my 2 in my citizenry. I've given myself a faction and a homeworld tile. I've resolved the bonuses on those tiles, which are represented here and here. Now I have to get 2 random tiles from the bag, and I have to set a research and a world to a development and a world to settle and research. So I'm going to choose, what do we got here? They're both the same. I'm going to choose one that, okay, let's do this one for the world, and let's do this one for the research. And they're represented by the symbols as well. So circles your world, and diamonds are your research, your developments. You can you choose either side depending on which one you like best. They are always double-sided, and they always have one of the other on there, so you can choose whichever one you like the look of best. That's basically it. I'm ready to start playing. I'm ready to go. So everyone else is around the table. We've all got our shields up, and we're all going to roll our dice. So I currently have 3 dice in my cup, so I'm going to roll those. Once again, this would all be behind a shield, so no one else is going to see this. Let's see what I got. Cool. All right, this is actually pretty good. I got 2 eyes, which are the explore dice, and I got a good, which is the produce dice. So that's my, well, help if everyone can see that. So I'm going to bring them back a little bit. That's what I've got for my first round. So what does that mean? I obviously want to probably do something with those eyes. I probably don't necessarily need to at the moment, only because I've got enough money. I've got enough tiles out. So, well, really, this is probably not a great roll at all. But it'd probably be a good roll to explain what I can do here. What I essentially want to do in this first round, given what I've got set up here, is I want to start doing these. So I need to roll, if I want to do it in one go, I need to roll 3 diamonds so that I can put those onto that tile. Or 3 circles if I want to put them onto this tile. Then that tile's developed or settled and it's done. I get those points. I get that perk that comes with the tile. It's really great. But the thing is, as you can see, I've got 2 eyes and a produce. But it's not going to help me. Now here's where this game gets really interesting. These just because these are these symbols, it doesn't mean I can't use them to activate one of these phases. The trick with this game is that just because you've rolled those dice, it doesn't mean you get to do the thing that it says. You actually need to make sure that that phase is activated. And the way you do that is you assign a die to the thing you want to be activated. It's weird, right? You don't actually need to match the symbol to activate it. If you want to use that symbol, if you want to use that phase and you want to use your dice in that phase, then they must match. But if you want to just activate it, you can use anything you want. So weird. This is where it always got me. This is where I always got really confused with this game. So I can use this produce die to activate development. Just like that. And that goes for any symbol, any dice, anything like that. You can only activate once per your turn. But just remember, everyone else gets to do it too. So there's 4 people all activating a phase together. Now, because we're doing it behind a screen, we could all be activating the same thing, or we could all be activating different things. The idea is you've got to sort of try and look around the table and figure out, okay, he's got a tile there that's only got 1 development die needed to complete. So he's probably going to want to get rid of that and get it done. She's got no dice, so she's probably going to want to explore. So she's going to want to make sure that that's done. So you sort of start to kind of guess what everyone's going to do. At the start of the game, it's a bit hard to tell because everyone's sort of generally on an even playing field. But as the game wears on, that's essentially what you want to do. It's pretty cool. The development stage is going to be activated. Now, I'm only going to be able to put that 1 die on here, which is fine because I can sort of chip away at it a little bit and start adding dice to it as each round gets on. But I've got 2 die here that are probably not going to be doing anything, and I don't really need to explore. I don't need new tiles. I don't need more money for workers. I've got enough of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a special function in this game called dictate, which is listed up here. Now I'll just see if I can get that a bit closer so you can sort of see what it looks like. Without getting into the nitty gritty of it, as in like the actual explanation of it, basically what dictate means is you can sacrifice 1 die of that round to change any other die into the worker you want it to be. So I can take this explore die, place it here. So the reason you place it here is to sort of be able to show everyone in that round, okay, I'm using this die to do this particular thing. I'm actually going to change this explore to a develop because I've used this. It's pretty cool. Now, let's say everyone else has done their move. Everyone reveals their screen, and we start to see what everyone else has chosen. So I'm going to use a dice to simulate what everyone else has maybe done in this round. So someone might have chose to settle. So, okay. And then someone else might have chose to, that's a wild, produce. I don't know why they would do that so early on, but maybe there's a reason why. And then there's one more person playing, we'll say they're green. They might have wanted to explore as well. So what we do is everyone, their screens would all come up. Every phase that's activated by each player gets flipped over, and we start with 1. We say, did anyone activate explore? Well, we look around the table. Yes, someone did explore. So that now gets activated. Did anybody do develop? I did. So we're going to flip that one over as well, and that becomes activated. Did anybody do settle? Yes. So that becomes activated. Did anybody do produce? Yes, someone did. So that gets activated. Did anyone do ship? No. So that stays deactivated. So say somebody had dice set on, I'm just going to pinch some of mine for a second, ignore the symbols for the moment. If someone had dice set here, they wanted to ship 3 goods or something, for example, they wouldn't be able to do it this round because that is not been activated. Nobody set it to activate. So those dice at the end of the round will go back into his cup. That's pretty much it. So we've got 4 phases activated here. Then we go from start to finish again, and we resolve each one of these phases. So in this case, I had no dice set to explore, so that doesn't apply to me. But say someone else may have dice set to explore, then they will do whatever it is they want to do. They might want to gain more money, or they may want to search for more tiles. You basically get to pull tiles out of the bag, one tile per dice plus another. So if I put one dice into here, I get to pull 2 tiles, sort of thing. So let's say that's resolved. We go to the next phase, develop. This is the stage where I wanted to make sure I was doing stuff. So I'm going to take my 2 dice and I'm going to place them right here. So now I'm 1 dice away from developing this Space Marines tile. So I'll get hopefully when I get another dice on there, I'll get the perk that comes with it, and I'm one more tile away from getting to the main goal, which I didn't mention is getting 12 tiles on the board, on the table. You start with 3, so essentially what you're doing is you're developing or settling 9 tiles to get to 12. So that's cool. That's that phase done. Say everyone else has done their development phase. If they've got dice on there, we go to settle next. I don't have any dice on settle, so I'm not going to do anything, but then say someone else might have, they'd put their dice on, so on and so forth. Same with produce, and you just keep going like that. Basically, you only get to do the thing you want to do if it gets activated. So it's almost like it's in your best interest to make sure that you're placing a dice onto that phase so that it does get activated and it does work. The problem is though, like I said, everyone could be activating the same thing because it's all behind the screen. You don't know what's going on. That's the round over. So then what we do is we make sure everything gets resolved. And the way we do that is we go back to the cup and we recruit any dice we want to recruit. So I've got this dice which I didn't get to use this round. I used it to dictate, but it didn't get used on a tile, so it goes back in my cup. I've got $8 there, so I'm absolutely going to spend $1, $2, $3 here and buy back three workers and put them from the citizenry into my cup, so I've got more to roll this round. Everyone else can do the same thing. Obviously, this is all happening at once too, I should mention that. You can then also recall dice if you want to. So say, for example, it's taking you forever to develop this tile and you need more dice because you've only got 1 in your cup and you want to get more dice in there so you can have a better chance of rolling what you need. You can actually recall these and put them back into your cup if you want to. And that's a free action. You don't actually need to spend any money on that. It's very handy. And that includes this area, but it also includes any goods you have on worlds as well, I believe. I might be wrong there. Actually, no, I'm not wrong. It says there on the cheat sheet. You reset your phases. These all go back to unactivated. And then you check if anyone's triggered the end game, which happens when you reach 12 tiles on the board. There is only 3 tiles on the board still. So we go again. Screens go up. Dice get rolled. I got 2 explores again, which is not helpful, but I did get 2 settles. So what I would do in this case, I'd be ignoring what everyone else is doing because I know that I want to get 3 onto here. And what I can do is take this one here, even though it doesn't match the symbol, because I'm activating that phase, I can activate settle. I know that's definitely going to happen this round. So I know that these 3 dice are going to go on here and I'm going to be sweet. This is going to be settled, sorry. And then I'm 1 step closer to getting to the end game. This one here, I'm just going to leave that there because, maybe someone will activate the explore phase and I can use that to get some money or get a tile to replace this one. So let's say everyone else is choosing what they're going to activate. So he's going to do ship, he's going to do produce, and he is also going to do produce. So we'd lift screens, we'd say, oh, okay, cool. So did anyone do explore? No one did explore. Did anyone do develop? No one did develop. Did anyone activate settle? Yes, I did. So that is now activated for everyone. I can't stress that enough. When it's activated for the whole table. That's the cool thing about this game. Everyone's sort of working together but against each other at the same time. It's really quite interesting. Did anybody activate produce? Yes, 2 people did. Did anybody activate shipping? Yes, 1 person did. So these are now the 3 phases that will take place in this round. So once again, you go from 1, 2 to 3 and develop from there. So Anyone want to settle? Yes, I absolutely want to settle, please. I want to put these 3 dice onto this world, and it is now settled. These go back into the citizenry because they've done their job. I get the bonus of this, which says gain a novelty. See, this is where it says it gets weird. Gain a novelty good. It should just say cyan. Gain a cyan die on this world when you place it. So I place it down. It's basically telling me get a blue die or a cyan die, put a good on it, and then that's like a free point or money when the time comes to ship. Really cool. Everyone else does what they're doing. Then we go to the next one. Is anybody doing goods? Yep, cool, I'm doing that. Anyone doing shipping? Yep, doing that. So basically, it makes more sense when there's more people around. They're doing their things as well. But that's pretty much how that works. So now the next round will start. Once again, anything that's not being used, so this didn't get used, it goes back in my cup. You basically can buy back your workers from the citizenry if you want to. I can still do this. I'm going to buy all 3. 1, 2, 3. They're back in my cup. Deactivate these phases again. A lot of flipping and rolling, and we're back to the start of the round again. I'm going to do one more, just to really drive it home how this works. So screens go back up. I've now got 4 dice that I'm going to roll, so that's pretty cool. What did I get? Awesome. This is great. 2 developed tiles, 1 ship tile, 1 produced tile. Okay, so I'm going to do, what am I going to do here? I only need 1 dice on develop to develop this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to, what am I going to do here, actually? Because I also need tiles. So what I might try and do here is I'm going to, I might put this here. I'm going to leave those 2 where they are. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So what's going to happen here is I know that the explore phase is definitely going to happen. The reason why I want explore phase to happen is because I want to get more tiles, because these are going to get developed soon. I'm hoping that someone else is going to develop so that I don't use my phase activation to basically almost like wasting a dice, for example. I don't want that to happen because I kind of want to be able to use it for something else. So I'm going to hope that someone's going to develop, so I don't have to do that because I've already used my dice here. I'm just going to leave that there and that there. I'm not really that bothered by that. I might want to ship this good, maybe. We'll see what happens. Everyone else is setting their... Oops. Everyone else is setting their... what they're activating. I lost my train of thought for a second there. So ship, settle, and good. Okay. So we reveal our screens. I've chosen explore, so that gets flipped. Nobody chose set develop. That sucks because I've got my die on there that I want to put onto that research and basically complete it. I can't do that because no one's done it. But someone has done settle, and someone has done produce, and someone has done ship. So then I go through, we do that. We resolve each phase. So I'm using that die there to search for two tiles. I'm going to choose that one to put there, and I'll say I'm going to choose that one to put here, just to say. Any new tiles always go underneath the one you're currently working on. Then we go through and everyone will do the rest of their phases. It just keeps going and going and going until you get to the end game. I hope that makes sense because honestly, if you stick with this game and really try and understand it, you'll be so rewarded. It's absolutely fantastic, so much fun. I mean, look at all these flipping dice. How good is that? They are awesome. They're fantastic. There's a lot of reward for sticking with it. I've had some really fun times with it so far. With a couple of times we've played it. Each dice also has like a different probability of rolling a certain thing. Like the yellows have a higher chance of rolling wilds, which is fantastic, but they're harder to get. The whites have a higher chance of rolling explore, so they're really good if you want to choose those. So when it comes time to buy from your citizenry, you might want to make sure that you explore. You're going to explore this next round, so you might want to buy more white dice rather than other colors. There's so much to this game, and it's just fantastic. I absolutely love it. Can't recommend it enough. It's just, yeah, a pleasant surprise. And it's one of those games that I'm really glad I persevered with trying to figure it out. I'm still figuring stuff out about it. I don't 100% understand how shipping the goods and all that sort of stuff works, and there's certain goals on certain tiles that I kind of look at and go cross-eyed, but the majority of the game is reasonably easy to understand once you play a couple of rounds. Like, I honestly believe that, like, once you get to a third, fourth, fifth round, you can see everyone starting to click. They're starting to understand how it works. So fantastic game. Really love it. Highly recommend it, especially if you love rolling a couple of dice, which I do. So hopefully this wasn't too confusing. I just really wanted to talk about this game and give a bit of a rundown of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This was Tabletop Theory. This was Roll for the Galaxy. I'm Adam. Check out ranttheory.com for some more stuff coming up there. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Any recommendations for any board games too, please send them my way. Anything you want me to check out, or anything you want me to maybe review, not so much review, but talk about. Yeah, we've got some more big games coming up that we're going to be playing. Hopefully another game night soon too, which will pop up on Periscope. But yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.